Pull up a stool and pour yourself a pint as you're about to join three intrepid drinkers, Kevin, Justin, and Mark, as they embark on another Beertastic voyage.
Hi, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Beertastic Voyage. My name's Kevin.
I'm Mark.
And I'm Justin.
And today is a listener submission. Hi, everybody on YouTube.
Oh, yeah.
And today is a listener submission day. Hooray!
Yay, thank you.
And this one is a gift from the lovely Anna Maria, who I coach with, and her man friend, gentleman friend, her boyfriend, gentleman caller, I don't know, Bo, whatever we want to call it.
Is it not
Boo.
Facebook official yet?
What?
Is it not Facebook official?
Oh,
yet?
no, it is. I never know how to do that relationship status the right way.
Oh, that's fair.
That's just because I just don't know. I'm just not. But Eric, kudos Eric. Hi Eric. I got to meet him. I sent him off to a couple of the local breweries, and after that he's like, "Oh, you do understand what good beer is, and you like beer. Okay, good. I'm with you. We can be on the same page." But he's living in St. Louis currently, and he, after a tournament, sent Anna Maria back with some extra beers from one of their local breweries called Chestnut Hill?
Urban Chestnut.
Urban Chestnut, sorry. It's Urban Chestnut. So Urban Chestnut Brewing Company, their whole thing is they have, they're going after this old world meets new world kind of vibe. So they try to make sure that they respect the old world styles. In fact, their head brewer, his name is Florian, and he's actually from Bavaria.
Ooh.
So, like, lots of street cred there.
Legit and shit.
But then they also want that kind of urban vibe of, American urban culture to try to update and invigorate some of the styles. So the chestnut is a big, is their kind of logo, their calling card, because chestnut trees were frequently planted in brewing, in like beer gardens and things like that.
Oh, okay.
To provide shade, of course, but also it would keep the earth cool enough, because a lot of times the beer gardens would be on top of local storage facilities of where they might be cooling the beer or storing the beer. So it keeps the earth a little cooler there too.
Gotcha.
So I like that idea, and I thought that was really cool. So their beers mostly come in 2 or 3 different series. They have the Revolution series, which is their American craft, which is focused on American craft styles. Then they have the classic European styles, which is their Reverence series. And they also have their small batch Bavarian brewed imported style ones, which is their Hallertau series. And we have ones from the Revolution series today.
And the Reverence.
And the Reverence series. We have 2 from the Reverence series and 1 from the Revolution series. And the first one has one of my favorite, I think it's my new favorite beer name. Like if I was to have to answer the 6-pack of questions, this might be my new favorite beer name. It's Schnickelfritz.
Oh, yeah.
I can just say it over and over and over. Schnickelfritz, yeah. Schnickelfritz, yeah. So much fun.
You know what it reminds me of, which is, we're going to get to see it, the new one, is
Super
Super Troopers, yeah.
Yeah.
Otherwise known as Our 50 Shades of Grey.
So
what are you freaking out about?
Yeah, what am I cracking up about?
Yeah.
I decided that I had to go to Urban Dictionary to see what it said about Urban Chestnut.
Okay.
And,
Oh, boy.
Jesus.
So the top definition on Urban Dictionary for Urban Chestnut is an urban chestnut is what you leave on a hooker's blouse or any city dweller when she blows you off in a St. Louis alley.
In a St. Louis alley.
Right, and that's why I started cracking up so much.
Holy shit, that's amazing.
Oh, that's fantastic.
Also, a St. Louis craft brewery, which you may have visited before, buying the BJ and depositing the Urban Chestnuts,
Holy shit, that's amazing.
which is why I was cracking up so much.
That's-
It's literally referenced on Urban Dictionary.
That's hysterical.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to hold on that link. I'll throw that in the show notes. That's worth
There
it.
you go.
Wow. Well, yeah, Schnickelfritz is a great name. There's some good verbiage on the side of the bottle that I think we should wait to read until afterwards.
All right. I was going to read their
Oh.
little background here and give you some of the stats on it. It is a Bavarian-style Weiss beer. And their little story about it online is not too long ago, the beer world lost one of its modern icons, Pierre Celis. Pierre almost single-handedly resurrected what is today one of the most popular styles of craft beer, the Belgian Wit, a deliciously refreshing wheat beer originally crafted by Belgian farmers in the Middle Centuries. Today, the style has a generous range of flavor and is often infused with a variety of spices, primarily coriander and dried citrus fruits. In keeping true to Mr. Celsus' homeland of Belgium, we additionally brew ours with unmalted wheat using a very thorough mash regimen. Schnickelfritz comes in at 5.2% ABV with 13 IBUs. They color it at light gold with a 12 degrees Plata for the OG. Has Hallertau tradition, East Kent Goldings hops, and uses Pilsners and unmalted wheat. Things. So I love that I love when they give you just that little bit extra bit of information in there. I'm like, that's all I wanted.
Yeah.
I don't need like, you know, I don't need the whole recipe. I just want half a step more than they normally give.
I like it. The aroma on this is what you expect from a Weiss beer. You get a little bit of clove, but a lot of bubblegum.
I really get bubblegum. I don't pick up much clove.
Just a little hint in the background. I get some spiciness as it warmed up in my glass a little. But
I'm going to shake mine up a little bit, try to get a little bit more of the
It is
bubbles.
considerably, the clarity is considerable given that this is an unmalted
wheat beer,
in the grist.
Yeah, it is. It's pretty good. It's pretty good for that.
It's still cloudy though. I mean, it's still on.
It definitely has a haze, but
haze,
you
that's
know,
the right word for it.
it's the clarity is, you know, much clearer than I would anticipate.
This is good.
Yeah, this is solid.
This is a really good Weiss beer.
Yeah,
I love bubblegum. I love that bubblegum kick.
See, I don't like it. The bubblegum on the flavor is kind of subdued.
Yeah.
Like, it's not as present as I would anticipate from the aroma.
Correct.
I agree.
Which is why I enjoy it as much as I do.
Yeah.
If the flavor followed through with the aroma,
It'd be
like
overpowering.
straight through,
It would be
it
overpowering.
would put me off it.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I really like that bubblegum kick to it. It's tasty and it's light and clean. Justin, you house that.
Yeah.
You enjoy. Well, there's some more in here.
Yeah, I'm gonna have more. I really like it. It's everything you guys said is perfect. It's really clean, so it finishes clean, but you get all of the different flavors. Like there's a little bit of spiciness up front, mostly a bubble gum to the finish, but in a really good way. And it cleans the palate, and then you're like, wait, I want to try it again. And there's enough complexity to it that I want to keep drinking it, so I can keep picking out all the different notes in it.
Yeah, the coriander gives it like a nice hint of citrus on the flavor that's not overpowering to the point where it puts me off it as well. And it doesn't, like a lot of wheat beers, and especially, you know, beers that are trying to be Weiss beers.
Right.
They just they finish too sweet.
Yeah.
And this has a nice dryness on the palate, so that like I'm like when I take a sip, I'm ready for the next one.
Yeah.
And I'm not like sweet.
I think you hit it perfect there. It's the dryness that makes this drinkable. I'm not usually too much opposed to the sweet of it, but I don't like when Weiss beers get to be the candy sugar.
Yeah, they get to be like candy.
Yeah,
cloying.
which to me that's almost getting closer to like a blonde, like a Belgian blonde style with that candy, and I don't really want that as much.
Yeah, I mean that's something else too. Like Belgian blonde should finish really dry, like this does.
Yeah.
So that you know you don't have that lingering sweetness on your palate.
Yeah, what's interesting to me, like I said, is the complexity of the flavor. As I just poured myself some more because I really like it, and as it warms up, the bubblegum is fading more for me. I can't tell if that's true or if I'm getting used to it or what it is, but it's fading a little bit and coriander showing up a little bit more. It's just like I don't know, it's alive. It's really cool.
Well, I'm pouring myself a little second on this one too, but Mark, there's a splash left. You want it?
I'll come back to it later.
Okay. But this is I almost like this as much as I like the name of it. I really do. Like it's
perfect.
I'm going to give the read to the back here.
Yeah, that's exactly what I wanted to wait for because it's good.
And the unmistakable characteristics of this Bavarian-style Weiss beer are achieved with a yeast that creates a decidedly fruit and phenolic beer. You may also note clove and banana-like aromas as flavors as you pour and enjoy the beer in a traditional tall wheat beer glass. Prost.
Yeah.
We're drinking out of little tulip glasses, which I think is acceptable in this situation, but I can totally see how, pardon me, the taller glass with that wider head would allow those aromas to escape more, and that's just not going to work. It's just sitting there, is it?
Oh, I didn't.
I've been leaning my phone against
For anybody listening, Kevin had his phone leaned up against the water pitcher. I didn't see it. I just picked up the water pitcher. That's what you heard crashing.
I think that I could see how that shaped glass could really help to create a brighter nose on this, but I don't think it needs it at all.
Well, the other thing, like the other point of those wheat beer glasses,
Right.
is that the height and the narrowness
Mm-hmm.
is designed to show off like the clarity of the beer, but
Right.
also to concentrate the head, so you get like a really tall,
Right.
pillowy head.
Which this beer I think is great already, but would only benefit from that too. To have a little bit more of the head in there might be nice to kind of create that little bit of creaminess that you get from good sudsy head on there. Might be interesting to change the texture of it just a little bit, but I'm really into this one, and I'm gonna rate it as a growler. Like I could just start housing these.
Yeah, I think I'm right there with the growler.
Yeah.
It was, I don't know. That's my lawnmower beer. Like that's the one that I want on a hot day.
Yeah.
But I can drink that one beer pretty much all day and be happy, and it's a pretty rare occurrence.
Mark, what do you think about this one?
I'm gonna stick with just the bomber on it
Okay.
because I do enjoy it and I can drink the two, but it's just not crisp enough where I want the whole growler.
Okay.
So you want a little bit more of a crisp finish for that.
Yeah, and like the dryness definitely helps it, but maybe it's the bubble gum character or something. Like it's just like it's not quite lawnmower beer for me. It's just like half a step away from it.
I understand how it's not lawnmower beer for you. I'm gonna agree. I probably don't want to drink it for a lawnmower, but I could totally just hang out and drink this at a barbecue all day.
Yeah, I would just want a little more variety. It's good, but I don't know. It's just missing something that makes me want to go. Yes, I want to drink this all day.
Okay.
Well, I'm interested in what we got now because I don't know what to think about it yet.
Okay. Well, the next beer that we're going to drink is the number one from the Revolution series, which is their Winged Nut. It's an ale brewed with chestnuts. And for some more info here, it is they call it an unusual little bird. It's a little on the flighty side at 5.4% ABV, and it's a little on the wacky side because we brew it with finely milled chestnuts. Willamette hops. Go for it, somebody.
Willamette.
And we ferment it with a Bavarian Weissbier yeast strain. All of these nuances contribute to its nutty personality. So 5.4% ABV with 25 IBUs. It's a nice copper color, just slightly heavier at 13 degrees Plato. Only the Willamette hops is used from the U.S. and it uses Munich malts and chestnut flour. But I love this that amber color that you get with this one. Like I love that color.
Yeah, it's borderline ruby. I mean, it's nice.
Yeah, it's pretty close to an Irish red in appearance.
Yeah, I just think it's a gorgeous color.
Yeah,
like not just in beer, just like in general. Like I love that color.
I really need some help with what the aroma is.
I get some nuttiness on the aroma.
Okay. Because weird is the only thing I can call it. I don't want to call it weird because it's not unpleasant by any stretch of the imagination. I just can't really put my finger on what I'm smelling. Yeah, I guess it's a little bit of nuttiness.
It might. I'm trying to just smell it and not have it like be impacted by what I've just read with it saying that it has it, and it might be just that it's the same glass, but you still kind of get a little bit of the same kind of nose from the like leftover nose from that Weissbier.
I get it's a good chance that it's the same yeast strain, but perhaps this is fermented a bit cooler than the Schnickelfritz.
Yeah.
The Schnickelfritz might be fermented warmer to really
shoot out that bubble gum.
The bubble gum, where this I get more clove on the aroma.
Yeah.
I get clove and I get like a little bit of like roasted nut.
Yeah, and I think that's the chestnuts. I think it's the milled nuts that are in there.
The flavor is pretty outstanding.
Yeah, it's very smooth.
Sweet, a little sweet.
Little sweetness. Kind of like a nut butter in the flavor.
Yeah, I would definitely say that's accurate.
This reminds me of like a nut brown beer without the aggressive hops.
Yeah.
like a lot of times when I like when breweries will make a nut brown. I usually go after that one and try it because I just think it's good. But they tend to, because it's an American craft, they gotta like hop the crap out of it.
Right.
This one tastes like they kind of made that, and then they were just like, oh, I forgot the hops. Like, oh, I just didn't hop it. You know, like,
oops, I forgot the hop series.
Yeah, exactly. You know, but I definitely get that same kind of vibe from it. But it's really tasty. And
Yeah, like the showcase on this beer is the yeast character
Mhm.
and also the nut flower. Like
Yeah.
those are the two flavors that are showcased.
Yeah, then the milled. I don't know. I'm not one of those guys that like around Christmas time I roast the chestnuts and I peel them apart.
No.
You know, my grandmother used to do that. She was the one like, oh, hey, I gotta have the big bag of chestnuts, and she'd sit there for hours peeling them and eating them apart. No, but I do like incorporating chestnuts like in my stuffing. If I actually make like a chestnut and cornbread stuffing, which is pretty awesome, and I love that one. But you get that kind of that earthy nuttiness to it, and I really enjoy it. This to me, this could be like an everyday drinker. Just like it's just there. It's just that beer that's old, standby, ready to go.
Yeah, I could definitely have a stack of this in the fridge.
Yeah.
This is the finish to me is the part I like most because you kind of get a little bit of a bold sweetness up front, like caramelly a little bit, and then it kind of finishes nice and soft. And I'm gonna guess that's from the nuts. I don't know. I've never had a chestnut my whole life. Never even eaten one. But the finish is intriguing to me, and it also can be part of the yeast character too. I think it's the thing that from the first two beers we've had, the yeast character that they're getting is pretty outstanding.
Yeah, they've got even if it's the same strain as in the last one, that's a cool one. I'd use that all the time also.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's a cool part about those types of yeast from different temperatures. You can bring out different characteristics.
Wildly different characteristics.
We'll see what happens on brewing a Belgian blonde next weekend. So we'll see how that goes. I'll make an attempt at doing something like 25% as good as they did.
Well, I'll get the rating started on this one, and for me, this one's going to be a bomber. I really like. They have some cool glasses. This pint 9-ounce glass.
Yeah, I like the bottles.
And they're kind of cool shape as well. They're a little bit different. I guess it's more of a European kind of shape.
Yeah.
But yeah, I could just see slamming one of these guys perfectly. But a pint, and the pint's not enough. Have the 2 pints of it, but I mentioned before, everyday drinker. Like, if I at my favorite restaurant, or my favorite brew pub, I would love to have this on tap and just be like, yeah, I'm having a burger, I'm having one of these, and that's a primo meal.
I was just reading the text on the side of the bottle from afar.
Right.
And it does, I guess we'll read it when we're done with the ratings, but it does mention that it's the same Bavarian yeast strain.
Okay.
From the Weiss beer.
Yep.
So.
Well, it says a Bavarian Weiss beer yeast strain. I don't think it's the same one, but yeah, I mentioned that before.
Okay, I'm sorry, I didn't hear that.
Yeah,
I would assume it would be.
Yeah, I would imagine that the brewery is not maintaining 2 separate Weiss beer yeast strains.
Yeah. But hey, if you have an actual Bavarian headmaster, head brewer, maybe you do. I don't know.
I mean, it's possible. I just find it unlikely.
Yeah. What are your thoughts on this one, Mark? What are you going with?
I'm gonna give this one a growler. It might take me a couple of days to work through that growler, but I like it. I like the finish on it. I like the flavor, and I could definitely drink more than 2 of these.
We always talk about you putting beer in waffles, and I was lucky enough to have some, which were fantastic.
Yeah, they were good this morning.
When you put beer in waffles, like if you put this beer in a waffle or the Weiss beer, would you notice any of these yeast characters in that end result? Do you think? I'm just curious. I was thought about it now.
The Weiss beer, I think, would be lost. I don't think you get much flavor carry through from that one, just because the flavors are more delicate. And by the time you mix it up with a bunch of flour and then, put it in, a toasted waffle.
Right.
I think you're going to lose those delicate flavors over the crisp toastiness of the waffle exterior.
It does make sense. I was just curious. It was a thought, because I think that would be really great in a breakfast, like a waffle or pancake.
Yeah, the winged nut, I think, would certainly carry through some flavor to the finished waffle.
Let's try. I'm gonna roll with a bomber as well. I like it a lot. The sweetness is a little too much for me, which is strange to say because I like a lot of sweet things. But great beer. And
Yeah,
it's pretty cool that there's a chestnut in the beer.
Well, I mean, we had the I forget exactly what it was, but I brought back that Jenny O's from Ohio that
Yeah.
had the walnuts in it,
Right.
and that one was good as well.
Yeah, I like the ideas that like I said, I'm really getting that impression of a nut brown that just isn't hopped as crazily.
Yeah,
And
yeah. No,
I really like that and appreciate it. And it's and you know, even with a strong hop character, the nut browns are ones that I go after. And this is one that like I said, I can see why this is the number. Like this is one of their standbys. Like this is one of their beers that they sell a lot of. I can see why.
I think it would appeal to a broad range of people too, both beer geeks and your everyday beer drinkers who are trying something new.
Right.
Yeah, it's definitely on the gateway beer spectrum because the bitterness is not very assertive.
Yeah.
But you have some complex flavors there that people that think all beer is macro lager
Right.
are like, oh.
I think people that really enjoy,
Huzzah.
I think if you really enjoy, like a Yingling lager, we could hand them this one and have it
Glenn.
be a good transition over. Yeah, Glenn, exactly. Glenn and Cliff are kind of our standbys of like, general beer taste.
Yeah.
Maybe we need to make a Glen scale.
I
I rated 4 Glens.
created 4 Glens and 2 Taylors.
So this
On a
last
scale of Cliff to Glenn,
It's not a long
it's a Taylor.
There you go. Now.
So this last one is also part of the Reverence series, and this is called Apotheosis, and it's a French-style saison that they don't have a ton of info on as far as what about it is, but it was named to celebrate the feast day of Louis IX, and is named because apparently there's a big statue of in St. Louis that's in Art Hill. I don't know.
I've seen pictures of it. I've never been.
Last time I was in, no, I've never been to St. Louis. I went to Kansas City, not St. Louis. Wrong chunk of Missouri. Missouri, yeah. But this one comes in at 5.3% ABV, 18 IBUs. Again, not aggressive at all there. Pale orange in color, and there definitely is an orange hue to it, which is kind of cool looking. Gives it almost kind of a honey tinge, like.
Yeah, it definitely looks like a clover honey.
Yeah. 13.5 degrees Plato for as an original gravity. Hallertau, I can't have a hard time with that one. Hallertau, yeah, Hallertau Pearl and Hallertau Sapphire hops, and they use German Pils, German Munich, and
Sapphire?
German wheat. No, Sapphire. Saphir.
Yeah. There's also Hallertau Mittelfruta.
You just cursed at me.
There is.
Is that the actual proper German pronunciation?
Fuck if I know. I just looked at the words and just made some shit up in a German language. I don't
Oh,
fucking
because
know.
I've always thought it was middle fruit.
Could be. I have no idea. I have no clue. I really don't. But I know that when I read that the description of it, I know it's supposed to be like kind of noble-y, but also have some like fruitiness to it too.
Yeah.
So.
And the side of the bottle doesn't say anything else about it, but it does have a picture of the aforementioned statue on it.
So like one word sums up the aroma, saison.
Yeah, but it's definitely subdued.
Yeah, it's not like total funk style, but
Yeah.
it's definitely a no matter what.
No,
you
but like
it's
some
a saison.
saisons, like saison, like I like Belgian yeast character, but some saisons, like
Yeah, they decided to ferment it at like 98 degrees.
yeah, the aroma alone just kind of puts me off it before you even taste it. Like I don't get that with this. Like I the first thing I did was go in for a smell, and I was like, oh, it seems pretty pleasant. Like
It's an
there's
approachable saison.
yeah,
there's a little bit of saisonness to it, but it doesn't like kick you in the nuts with the flavor.
right.
Anytime that the intensity of the aroma of something is so much that it, you almost get that like wasabi hit when it like clears your sinuses and it's like in the back of your eyeballs. You're like, whoa. But anytime you get that much of an intense like aroma on anything, I'm like, I don't really enjoy that. Like I just don't want that level of intensity on anything. But the one on this one is very, I'm gonna say, it's reserved. I think reserved is the right phrase for it here.
Yeah, it just as a background for anyone who doesn't know what a saison is, and Mark will correct me if I'm wrong. I'm going to try to put my beer professor hat on, but essentially it's a farmhouse style that was fermented. Typically, they didn't have very good fermentation control, so the yeast would express certain characteristics depending upon how warm it was when it was being fermented, basically, right? So you can get barnyard funk out of it, you can get a little bit of funkiness, all dependent upon the temperature.
Well, the pepperiness is like the most widely exhibited character from the yeast in a saison, and this definitely has it. But Kevin, you said it before, like it's definitely like restrained. So they probably fermented this a bit on the cooler side, but I like it. The aroma wasn't too strong to put me off of it, and the flavor I find quite nice. Unlike some saisons where the pepperiness goes from being peppery to like full on prickling my entire palate, and like that sensory experience just kind of puts me off the beer, and I don't get this with that.
I like it a little bit more aggressive of a saison. I enjoy them. And it's also I'm the kind of guy who drinks one beer and moves on to something else almost no matter how good it is. So for me, I always want the weirdest thing I can possibly drink. All right, we'll have to isolate that. That's not that crazy, but
by the way, on a related subject,
yeah,
I have on video you trying to deep throat your mic.
Oh, super. Wonderful.
I just want to drink the weirdest thing.
Holy shit. If it wouldn't get us banned from Instagram, we should make that the logo. Yeah, the logo.
As long as I don't stick a dick over it, that should be fine.
I don't know. They get pretty crazy. But so as far as saison goes, I enjoy this. And I know that whenever I grab a saison, it's going to vary wildly. So to have an approachable saison that you can say to someone, this is a saison, and then potentially have another one that maybe is a little more barnyardy, and you can kind of go and you can stretch people out a little bit. I really like this one.
This one also has like a pleasant lemoniness to it,
which is
an odd thing for me to say.
Yeah, exactly.
But it's there, and I like it. It's I have no better way of saying it. Like, it's a pleasant lemoniness, and it's like as far opposite of Sam Adams Porch Rocker as you can possibly get on the lemon spectrum.
I didn't even taste lemon. When I taste something that tastes good, I'm never going to say lemon because I also don't like lemon. I don't even get lemon in my water. When they bring a lemon, a water with a lemon in it, I give it to Steph, and she gets 2 lemons in her water, which she perfectly likes.
I get, like the lemon that I get out of this is on like the aftertaste, like that, and it like lemon in water, like that's exactly the aftertaste that I get from this beer.
I can see how you're saying that. I don't necessarily think it's specifically lemon. I kind of get more of a generic citrus flavor to it because I think it's really faint. But I think I'm going to agree with you, Justin, in that it's a very approachable saison. And actually, I enjoy it more than most of the saisons that I've had in recent memory. I feel like I had a few in the beginning of when I first tried that style, and I really enjoyed them. And then recently I've had a handful that have just been way too much for me. And this one is kind of like a nice nod to the style. Like, listen, we're gonna do this. We're not gonna go. We're not gonna go balls to the wall with it, but we're just gonna create a nice drinkable saison that hopefully you enjoy. And I really like this one, and it might be a change of pace beer for me, or have one on occasion for. I don't think I'm gonna go crazy with it, but it's better than a pint, but it's not a bomber for me.
Right, I feel the same way.
It quality-wise, it's way better than a pint, but it's just I'm not going to drink more than a pint of it in a sitting.
I don't think any saison is really meant to be something that you drink repeatedly. I mean, in a row. I think that flavor is just
too aggressive.
Yeah, it's especially different than most anything else you eat and drink. You know what I mean? Like, it's not especially in the U.S., not a common flavor profile that you really get both peppery and sweet at the same time.
Yeah, I understand what you're saying. I don't get a ton of the pepperiness that you talked about, Mark, but this may just be me.
Yeah, again, it's very restrained.
Yeah, and I think the whole thing is just that it's a really restrained version of a saison. That is very much in that style. You know that that's what it is when you taste it, but it's none of it is so overwhelming that you're getting overwhelmed by it.
Yeah, I can agree. So
I think it's really, really well done. I really like it.
You rated it a pint, right?
Yeah, I'm rating it a pint because that's the actual volume of stuff that I'm going to drink.
Right.
But if I was putting this on like a star scale, I'd put it probably at like a 3.5 or 4-star beer because I think it's really, really good.
Yeah.
If you could buy a 6-pack,
I would buy a
you
6.
put the 6-pack in the fridge.
Yeah.
Have one tonight, one in a couple of days.
Yeah, I'd come back to this one a few times, and I wouldn't be sad to have it around at all.
I know what you mean. It's one of those ones where like it's in the fridge, and then you go, oh yeah, I have that. I want that flavor right now. Like it's
and I definitely think that if you pair this with the right meal, it would be a really enjoyable beer.
Yeah.
That pairing this with a light meal, like one of those summer dinners when you're just like, oh man, I want to eat, but I can't have like this giant meal. I'd have this with a light meal, and I think it'd be really good.
I can definitely see enjoying this with some accoutrements.
There you go.
Sneak that word in.
There you go.
I'm also going to give it a pint for the same exact reason. I don't want to drink a lot of them in a row, but I want to have it around.
Yeah.
I'm going to go with a bomber for it, honestly.
Yeah.
It's probably the saison, the most enjoyable saison that I've had in recent memory, as far as my perception goes. And I can drink the bomber of it and be pretty happy.
Yeah, this is.
And if I had some cheese and accoutrement, the company said cheese at the same time, then that's a pretty damn good meal as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, give me this with like with cheese or something, or I'm thinking like a salad that has like cheese and fruit and nuts and like the ones that's a little bit crazier that has more stuff, almost a Waldorf salad.
Yeah.
Something like that. I'd be in on that. And now, I know it sounds like the most wussy meal ever.
Oh no.
But like I'll be all on.
I love me a Waldorf salad.
Still doesn't have a great name of Schnickelfritz though.
No, it doesn't. Schnickelfritz is still the killer name. I have to say that's bar none. Other than Kentucky Fried Chicken.
Yeah.
That's probably got to be one of the best ones.
What I really want to hear is drunk people at the bar trying to order a Schnickelfritz. Hey, Schnickelfritz!
Yeah, that's probably got to be pretty entertaining, I would have to imagine.
I'll take the Fritz.
Yeah. St. Louis is one of those cities that regularly hosts fencing tournaments, and so I'm hoping that if I ever end up going out that way for one of the tournaments, that I get a chance to sneak away and visit this brewery and grab a couple beers from them because I can hang out and drink some of these.
I mean, if this is what they're putting in bottles, I don't know how much they bottle, but if it's like around here where, most of the cool stuff comes out on tap and they're putting out standards into bottles, I'd love to see some of the, more out there cool stuff they're doing, if that's the case.
And, looking through, let me look through the website real quick, see if some of the other stuff that they're making. But I just think this is I like that there is a definite reservation. I'm saying reservation, but there's definitely a restraint in all the beers. Like, we're not trying to do the most whatever version of any of them.
I think that goes back partly to the fact that, the head brewer is straight out of Belgium.
Yeah.
And so, he doesn't have quite the same mindset as the typical American craft brewer.
Right. How much can I put in? Can I put in more?
Yeah.
I always put in more.
Like, he's not, the dial isn't always turned up to 11.
Yes. Our brew kettles go to 11.
What about if we just, make all of the settings a little bit louder?
No. Let's see. They have what they call a Bavarian IPL, which is their version of an IPA, on here that they use mostly Hallertau too. Well, I'm having a hard time with that today.
You almost had it.
Hallertau. Mittelfru.
Yeah, Hallertau Mittelfruta. That's how I'm going to say it.
Let's see.
Doesn't matter. Right.
They have one called Fantasyland, which appears to be like a what is this? It's a much more American version kind of beer because it's got 60 IBUs, Cascade, Nelson Sauvin, Amarillo, and Centennial, and Chinook, and Calypso hops in there.
Oh, shit.
So that's your American IPA right there.
Yeah.
I actually want to give that a shot with that Nelson in there.
Yeah, not with 60 IBUs.
Yeah. What else? Those
No.
are part of the Revolution series. Let me scroll over to the other side here real quick. More of their Reverence series. They have a Zweikel, which is a Z-W-I-C-K.
Yeah, that's the Polish one.
Zweikel. I'm sorry, I pronounced it wrong. It even has the key here. It's Zweikel.
Yeah.
Which is the flagship lager of their Reverence series. And that one has a Pilsner Caramel with the Hallertau Pearl and Hallertau Mittelfruit, which it looks like a classic,
Pilsner, right?
Czech Pilsner.
Yeah.
And they show you the picture of it, and it's crystal clear, light yellow, huge head of foam. Like, let's get our lederhosen on and drink tons of these.
Polka till the lights go out.
Yeah.
Oh,
And considering that we are recording on the 3rd, and yesterday was Groundhog Day,
Right.
do the Pennsylvania polka. I had to watch it. I had to make sure.
Oh yeah, I saw that on Facebook.
It's such a good movie. I love that movie.
Me too.
They have a multi Martzen style that they make.
Also, the movie that ended the collaboration of Harold Ramis and
Bill Murray. Yep.
Until Harold Ramis' deathbed, where they finally reconciled.
Is it Rami's or
Ramis.
I thought it was Ramis.
I thought it was Ramus too.
Maybe I'm wrong. I was a little drunk.
That's all right. But their Martzen that they make are Okats, as they put on the labels there, is the Okenkalschwaf.
The fucking what?
Ochkatzlschwaf. You tell me how the
I
hell
hope
to say
I hope that means like fuck your mother in some like weird German.
Oa Kaltschwaf. Okalschwaf.
Listen, I
love that they have the pronunciation guide on here, like so that people like me can kind of figure this out. Because I forgot the language of the oppressor, but it's
that's fucked up.
But they just refer to it as Okats, so
I wonder why. You were talking about drunk people saying fucking Schnickel Fritz.
Yeah.
I can't imagine that one.
Yeah,
so
seriously.
they seem to have a pretty wide. They seem to hit those classic, Middle European styles of the Pilsner, of the the Czech, the German, the Polish kind of styles.
Germans?
Yes, exactly. But I'm really interested in it, and I really like it. The ones that we had today have piqued my interest.
I definitely would like to try some of their other offerings.
Eric, hint, Eric.
Yeah, Eric, let us know. Let us.
I don't know you, but I don't know you, but I love you.
Yeah. Next time Anna Maria heads out that way, I'm going to give her a list and be like, "Can you get these? Can you make these happen on your next trip out to St. Louis, please?"
That would be nice.
So thank you so much. I always enjoy the listener submissions. I know we try to gear towards Long Island beers, but experiencing beer from other regions that's as local for them is fantastic to me. So I love listener submissions. So thank you to anybody who has sent those in. And if you have a beer that you think we would enjoy, or you just want to hear us try it and suffer through something that you think we would hate, don't care. Send it to us. Let us know. Mark, what's the phone number?
I don't remember off the top.
Oh, okay.
I was going to do the same thing too. I was like, do I roll this bus completely over Mark?
I was hoping Mark, but I thought you were. I was confident that you had it a little more solid.
631-605-7240.
Give us a call. Let us know about it. If you want to organize a trade, we would 100% love to trade you some of our Long Island favorites for some of your local favorites. If you just want to send us beer, we can communicate and find out a way for you to give us beer.
Or if you just want to leave Justin some heavy breathing.
Yes.
Yeah, seriously.
He's still waiting.
He loves that.
Still.
Spank Bank is empty. Help me out.
All right. So, you guys have anything else?
No, I think that does it for this episode.
No.
All right. Well, cheers, everybody.
Cheers.
Schnickel for Eds.
If you enjoyed Beertastic Voyage, please be sure to subscribe wherever you get your podcasts, and don't forget to review and rate us. The guys can be found online at www.beertasticvoyage.com, on Facebook at www.facebook.com/beertasticvoyage, and Twitter and Instagram at Beertastic Show, or send them a good old-fashioned email at beertasticvoyage@gmail.com. Thanks for listening, and cheers for local beers.